Hello and happy Tuesday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Alex Hoffman. I'm with the Equipment Dealers Association. I'm so excited to introduce Lannie Byrd today. He's the CEO of Team SI. He'll be presenting for us. Before we begin, I have a few housekeeping items to cover. First, we love interactive webinars, so please ask questions during today's presentation. There is a Q&A box in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Just press that button to type in and submit a question. We'll answer it aloud for the group at the end of the webinar. Those questions will be anonymous, so don't worry about that. Secondly, today's webinar is being recorded and will be sent to everyone who registered following the webinar. You can expect to receive that tomorrow morning. Lastly, just please remember that this and other webinars are free services of EDA for our members. We're so lucky to have this great partnership with Team SI to provide this excellent content for us. And if you have any questions about EDA or member benefits or our partnerships, please do not hesitate to contact our office. Thanks again for joining us today, and now I'll hand it over to Lannie.
Sure, I appreciate you inviting us to do this today, Alex, and I appreciate everyone joining the webinar today to talk about content marketing. I'm a real big proponent of content marketing, even before we called it content marketing. I have a master's degree in journalism and used to work for newspapers a long time ago and helped a lot of newspapers start their online sites. So I've always been in favor of content, and I really love the way digital and the web has gone to create content to allow people to interact with businesses and learn more about what we're doing. So one unique thing about us here at Team SI is we're a Google Premier partner, and we're in an exclusive relationship to help equipment dealers and manufacturers succeed in this space. So it's one of our goals to help bring innovation to the equipment industry, and hopefully this session will help everyone with that. So really, to start out with content marketing, we want to create engaging content. And what engaging content is meant to me is means there's content out there that you want to tell people, that you want to tell your customers, that you want your customers to know about. And then there's content also out there that your customers are looking for and trying to seek, and they want more information about. And then there's the golden space where those two pieces overlap, and that's really where we want to focus on content marketing. It's the same content that you want to tell customers and that your customers want to know. So we want to focus on creating engaging content by looking at that. So today, what we're going to do is look at the 5 rules of engaging content. We're going to go over what the buyer's journey is, how we break through the noise, and then finally look at creating content that converts for us by looking at the 5 steps to content mapping success and reviewing a content checklist that you can use for yourself. So let's start out with the 5 rules of creating engaging content. So first off, we want to create an experience. To create an experience, we want you to use your imagination. We want your visitors to learn something they didn't know before visiting your website and make them want to come back to your website for more. So really, using your imagination can be anything from finding a new way to display a tractor, finding new facts to talk about it, or even, when someone comes into your showroom in person, ideally, what's the first thing you want to tell them? What do you tell them about your equipment? And you want to make sure your website has that experience there. So the second piece of the puzzle is doing your homework. So there's a couple places that's really important to do your homework when you're creating engaging content for your website. First of all, you want to use your website and your data analytics to your advantage. If you don't have access to your website analytics, you need to ask your website vendor for that. But your website analytics really shows you what's going on your website, what pages people are spending time on, how much time they're spending, the pages that are the most viewed, and the pages that are the least viewed. You need to look at which sections on your website are getting the most traffic and how much time are spent on those pages. And you need to ask yourself, does this line up with the kinds of questions that people are asking when they come into my dealership? And are they talking about the same things? Do we have the content that most commonly asked questions that when people come to the dealership, do we have that same kind of content displayed on our website? And then we want to really tailor our content about what is being read and viewed the most on your website. And when you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to see your search engine ranking spike. You're going to see the traffic coming in from website spike. And also what you're going to see is your time spent on those pages spike. People, instead of spending 45, 50 seconds on the page. When you put in-depth, engaging content that's really analytics driven, people are going to spend 2.5, 3 minutes a page on your website. Now, the third piece of the puzzle to creating engaging content is to include imagery and videos. So consumers are much more likely to be influenced by visual content, specifically in today's mobile browsers with high bandwidth videos, images, and a well-written mix of that. Putting great content with visual content increases traffic overall, it increases eye movement on your page, and helps people get around your site better. And then the fourth piece of the puzzle is we don't just want to create content for search engines. It used to be, in the case 6 or 7 years ago, people would say, well, this content that we're writing for the page, this text, it's just for search engines to pick up. It really doesn't matter. But that's not true anymore. If you talk to an expert at Google or one of our SEO experts like John Morgan, who did one of these webinars a few weeks ago, John will tell you what Google wants is content created for your reader. Now, there's special ways to display it to help Google understand it, but you need in-depth, interesting content for your readers. Audiences read content that they like, and they don't think like search engine crawlers. You know, SEO is important, but writing for a real audience is more important, and readers trust you when you write directly to their audience. And we don't have to write in a stilted form. We want to write in a natural, casual way that allows us to entertain and inform the reader. And really, the fifth key to creating engaging content is creating a persona. Now, a persona is really if we take the audience and break it down into segments, we can take one audience segment and say, here's an individual that is representative of that audience segment, and here's how they think and what they do. Here's how they interact with you in your dealership. Here's how they interact with you online. But we also could have a lot of other facts about them that you know, like, for example, where their kids went to school or where they went to college, the kinds of media and social media they use throughout the day, that just really helps inform what you're writing to put on your website. And building these personas mean that you really understand what matters to your particular audience or this audience segment, and what's important to you specifically about a product or a service, and what's important to them about the products and services that you're providing. Now, part of this creating engaging content, and once you have a persona up there, is also creating a social media marketing strategy to go along with that. So it's important to remember that content marketing is social, and all your content that you've created